Welcome to my channel. Today's story comes from two ladies, the first of whom had a home invasion in her home. Just as she was about to be killed, God appeared. Let's start the first story of the day. My story took place in August 1997. My husband was a construction worker and I ran a gift store. In addition to some decorative items, I also sold some of my own paintings. It was a weekend when my husband took the kids to the park to skateboard before getting ready to go to my mother-in-law's house for dinner again. I didn't go along because I had a lot of work in hand. After the day job, I went to my bedroom and prepared to rest for a while. To my surprise, the laundry I had arranged for my husband to do hadn't been done yet, which made me angry. I said out loud, "Damn it, can't you help me share the housework?" I started to prepare to pack the laundry. Just then, I looked out the window and I saw a man. He was looking at me with a smile on his face. He was wearing a white coat and a gold belt. He had wavy hair. His appearance didn't frighten me. After a few seconds, he disappeared. I finished my laundry and went back to my bedroom to rest. When I woke up, it was dark. I ran to the front door and locked it, then ran to the garage door and locked it. I was a little scared because there had been a home invasion in the neighborhood. After I checked all the rooms, I went back to the bedroom. I remembered what I had experienced during the day. I thought about the man who appeared at the window. He seemed to be floating in the air, and his feet did not touch the ground. Could he be Jesus? Thinking about this made me feel much more at ease. I picked up the remote control, turned on the TV, and selected a movie. I watched about an hour and a half of TV. I heard the sound of a car and felt it was my husband coming back. I couldn't see the driver's face and a strange man got out of the car. He walked up the front door steps and as I was about to unlock the door, he forced his way into the house. He had a baseball bat in his hand. He told me to take all the money out of the house. I smelled a very strong odor of alcohol on him. He yelled at me. I gave him all the money I had in the house. Since there wasn't a lot of money, he suspected that I was lying. Suddenly, he grabbed me by the throat. I resisted strongly and we both fell to the floor. I tried to pull his hands away from my neck. Just as I was about to faint, my child came into my mind. I pounded him with my arms and legs and he let go of my throat. I was about to get up and run when he grabbed me again and slammed me to the ground. Instinctively, I reached out my arms to cover my face as his hands swung toward me. He had me pinned to the floor, and although I was still fighting, I couldn't breathe. If I couldn't break free of his grip, I would be dead in a matter of seconds. It was then that I gave up my resistance. All the panic was gone. As I entered the darkness, I prayed in my heart, "I am ready, God." Then a pure light engulfed me and I left my body. God wrapped me in his love and embraced me. I felt love. I never knew he loved me so much. I just wanted to stay there forever, and I finally came home. He told me, "I want you to stay with me so badly, but he has to take me back now because it's not my time to go home yet." No matter how much I wanted to stay, God was ready to give me a new life. He took me to the floor of the room, and there I died. He let go of the man's hand and pushed him away from me. I realized that I was back in the world, lying on the kitchen floor. When I opened my eyes, I saw the man sitting on the carpet far away from me. Tears were running down his face, and his hands were covered in blood. He kept repeating, "What have I done? What have I done?" I hadn't realized that the blood on him was mine. When he saw that I was still alive, he slowly stood up. He looked at me and begged me not to call the police, then he stood up and left. I knew the reason he didn't continue to hurt me, and I knew that God had forced him to leave. After the man left, I called the police and reported what had happened. The man stabbed me during the struggle. 3 days later, the man was arrested. He was charged with home invasion and attempted murder. I often wonder what would have happened to my children if God had allowed me to stay over there. I thank God for allowing me to stay with my children. Next is the second story. My near-death experience happened when I was 24 years old. I had just graduated from college and I was visiting a good friend. I was hoping she could give me some advice on my job. We hadn't seen each other for almost a year and we were both very happy. We had a bottle of wine. Halfway home, a rainstorm hit. The rain hit the windshield and the windshield became blurry. My defroster didn't work either. The ground was also very slippery, and then the car veered off the road and hit a tree on the side of the road. I passed out right then and there. I felt no pain. When I woke up, I was floating outside the car. A tunnel appeared in front of me, and it was suspended in midair. I didn't feel very strange. No one told me to enter the tunnel, and I didn't see any guides. As soon as I entered the tunnel, my soul began to move faster and faster through the tunnel. There was a light at the end of the tunnel. I was thinking that I must have died and was on my way to heaven. After some time, I came out of the tunnel and found myself in a brightly lit room. It gave me a feeling of quiet and happiness. The place radiated intense love. Around the room, there were hundreds of seats filled with people. They had human silhouettes, but I could not see their faces. I asked one of them why I was here. They didn't say anything, but I got my answer. You can look back on your life here. It's been 40 years since this happened. At that time, people were not very willing to talk about these things, unless you wanted to go to the madhouse, and silence was your best option. I saw a monitor and it appeared right in front of me. My life was like a movie. In certain scenes it would stop playing and they would ask me how I was feeling at the time. These scenes are all about my interaction with another person or group of people. I found myself unintentionally hurting people on several occasions, and it made me feel ashamed. The worst part was that my boyfriend and I broke up because I wanted to date another guy. He and my boyfriend actually knew each other. When they were in front of me at the same time, I felt his pain. When the memories were over, I thought I was a horrible person. No one here will criticize or judge you. Judging yourself is the worst. I felt so ashamed that I began to cry. I heard a voice saying, "This is not to punish you. When you go back, I hope you will be a better version of yourself." I asked, "Are you God?" "No, I am not God, and it is time for you to return to earth." I wanted to see God, and before the words were out of my mouth, I was already back in my body. A paramedic looked me in the eyes and said, "You finally woke up." After arriving at the hospital and undergoing many tests, I stayed there for 2 days. I told my friend about the experience, but she thought I must have been hallucinating. I learned a lot from this experience. Don't hurt anyone around you easily. If you are able, try to help those who need help. God is real.